Hey everybody, it's Dr. Nicole Bonner with Healing Hands of Manahawkin. And what an appropriate time to be talking about anti-aging. Guys, I'm going to be 47 years young tomorrow. How phenomenal is that? Now, by the time you guys are probably watching this video, I'm going to be even a little bit older than that. But we're talking this month about anti-aging and the importance of your spine and your nervous system in regards to how your body ages physiologically. All right, now I'm going to use myself as a testimonial to this. I've been getting regular chiropractic care since I've been 16 years old. And no, it's not because I've had chronic back pain my whole life. In fact, when I started chiropractic care 30 years ago, I didn't even have back pain. I didn't even go to a chiropractor because I had back pain. I had horrible health, a weakened immune system, chronic infections, and that's a whole nother story that we can save for another time. But chiropractic transformed my health, and it had nothing to do with neck or back pain. So then if you've never been to a chiropractor or you've never heard this before, if this sounds unfamiliar to you, let me explain why. There are three things that you can do to slow your aging process down. And of course, the first one that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is the chiropractic experience. All right. Why? Because your brain and your nervous system controls everything about you. And your spine is made up of 33 stacked vertebrae that house the spinal canal and the spinal cord. The spinal canal is a tunnel that houses and it protects the cord. The spinal cord and the brain are the only two organs in your body that are completely encased in bone. So that just shows, that's just indicative of how important those organs are for your body's survival, for life, right? If you think about what flows over your nervous system, it's literally life energy. Think about this for a moment. We all probably remember, I'm sure we remember, depending on how old you all remember Christopher Reeves, right? Superman. He got into a horseback riding accident and he fractured his neck and he severed part of his spinal cord, not the whole thing, but just part of it. And when he severed the cord, he lost certain organ functions. Okay, why did he lose certain organ functions? Why? It's because the brain controls the organ function and it does that through the spinal cord. So if you disconnect the cord and the messages don't get from the brain to the organ loses function. All right, what the heck does that have to do with chiropractic care? Well, it has everything to do with chiropractic care, because when we have different stresses to our body, the vertebrae, they don't fracture like Christopher Reeves did. That was just like a big example of the importance of the cord. But what happens is they do slip slightly out of place. The vertebrae slip out of place, right? So when that happens, it causes pressure to different parts of the spinal cord and the nervous system. Then that pressure on the cord reduces the velocity of the nerve impulses traveling through that part of the nervous system. So what does that mean? Well, it's not as severe as severing the cord where no messages are getting through completely, but there is a reduction in the velocity of the nerve impulse. So since every function in the body relies on the velocity of that nerve impulse, if the nerve impulses slow down, so does the rest of the body. Now, what does this have to do with aging? Well, very simply, if your body starts to slow down, what are you doing more of? That's right. You're aging faster physiologically than you are chronologically. What happens typically as you get older? You start to slow down. Have any of you realized that or recognize that? People who are under regular chiropractic care, though, don't slow down at that as fast of a rate as those who are not under regular chiropractic care. That was because of what I just explained to you, how the brain and the nervous system and the neurology of your body work. All right. So the reduction of life energy flowing over the nervous system will absolutely slow you down and age your body way faster physiologically than what you are chronologically. The second step in regaining your youth is to move your body. All right. Your body is meant to move. Your body is meant to be animated. What animates your body? Your nerve flow, right? We just talked about that. We talked about if we nerve flow, the body is dead. It is no longer animated. You're a sack of bone and you're a sack of muscles without that life energy moving through. Where does the life energy flow over? It flows over the nervous system. It's the nervous system that allows your body to move. So exercise is absolutely essential, moving your body. Now, if any of you are like me, you either don't have the time, you might not, or you might not have the time, you might not have the energy. And if you're anything like me, you simply just don't like to spend hours in the gym. So that's not what this is all about. You don't have to spend hours in the gym. It can be walking. One of the exercises that I love is swimming or just moving in water. Why? Because water is buoyant and it takes the weight of gravity and pressure off of your joints. That allows you to get more motion in the joints. Okay. The discs in between your spinal bones, the discs are essential. Number one, they're 98% water. What does that mean? Hydration is important. How many of you guys don't get enough water into your body, right? If your body and your spine is real stiff and it doesn't move really well, that means that your body is aging faster physiologically than what you are chronologically. If it's difficult, sorry about that, for you to go from a sitting position to a standing position, again, that means the joints are not moving. You're becoming stiff, you're becoming rigid, and you're aging faster than what you're supposed to be aging. So, so movement is important. Once again, you don't have to have this rigid workout routine every single day. Although I do recommend having some type of workout routine. It doesn't have to be every single day, but having some type of workout routine. It's very important to keep your body mobile as you get older. So you can work on doing things that have less shock absorption, things like walking or a jog, and then as you get stronger, you can move into running, and you can move into jumping. The best thing that you can do for your disc health is to choose an activity that is the least harrowing when it's coupled with gravity. So things like box jumps, marathon training will leave you more of a lasting aging residue, will have more of a lasting aging residue and effect than a daily swim, power walk, or a hike. So let's keep moving and not living a sedentary life. And now your third step is improving your grip. Grip strength has a direct correlation with mortality. Did you guys know that? So in our office, actually, every time we do an exam on a patient, we actually measure grip strength because research and science and data have shown that grip strength has a direct correlation with people's death rates. Okay, new and existing evidence suggests that grip strength is a biomarker of your biological age or your physiological age. It can be the difference between aging in place in your own home or spending your final years in assisted living. That's how important this is. All right. Lack of hand grip strength can indicate premature aging, and grip strength aligns with your epigenetic clock, which is an indicator of the age of your DNA. So the word epigenetics suggests that we can change the aging trajectory by changing our lifestyle. So in other words, a healthier lifestyle equals a better trajectory for our health. I bet you guys didn't know that you can actually change the expression of the genes. That's huge, you guys. Write that down. We now know from science, data, and research that we can actually change the expression of our genetic makeup. We used to think that we were victims to our genes, and we're not. Newer science, data, and research show us that we have more control over the expression of our genes than we actually think. That's a beautiful thing because that puts the responsibility in our court, and that gives us a lot of power to change the outcome of our future. If you saw parents or grandparents suffer with diseases like heart disease, diabetes, cancer, Alzheimer's disease, then you know what that's like, and you can change the trajectory of your own life. The sooner you get started, the better off you'll be.